on finding new ways to reach younger audiences. We found out about Imagineer and the audio devices and how actually affordable they were for the kind of projects that we were doing. It was a really important factor at the start. So we've started working with them on the projects and basically have used them to produce content that comes from the young people themselves in terms of interpretation, looking at different ways to talk about the museums and create all sorts of things, including audio trails and heritage trails, and basically use the equipment to kind of allow people to experience that themselves. Yeah, we've had good feedback from the museums and the young people because basically they're very easy units to use. Because of that, they've been able to produce their own content very easily. They've been able to upload it, get it onto the machines, and also change it if they've made mistakes. So it's not felt like it's kind of had a deadline to create things. They've actually been able to kind of develop things as they go along and make changes and get it how they want it. One of the projects that we've been doing is at a place called the Bill Douglas Centre, which is in Exeter, and they basically are a huge film archive, and they were trying to find a way to get an audio tour for that, because there's nothing that exists at the moment, let alone for any particular audience at all. So one of the young ambassadors that we were working with, Daniel, basically went around and got his own opinion on some of the things that were in the collection, and he made recordings of that, and he even learned how to use a bit of software to kind of edit the audio down, put a backing track on it, and create files that have gone onto the Imagineer audio devices. So pretty much doing the whole process himself with a kind of minimal support. Another project is one that we're currently doing in Dawlish Museum, where another young ambassador, Jack, has been using the devices to record specifically audio trails for small children. And the thing about that was he wanted to go around and find little bits of the museum that were kind of quite interesting and adventurous for small children, and produce things that he thought would kind of appeal in a slightly different way from the way that the museum normally has its information. So two quite different uses for that. I think one of the things that people noticed straight away was that when you plug them into a computer, when you sort of put them there ready for use, you don't go through some sort of complicated procedure of using software, having to install something, or understand how something works, because you literally drag and drop things into the folders and then it's ready to go. That was a kind of revelation for lots of the people that we were working with, the museums and the young people themselves. Because the focus of the whole project has been on allowing young people and encouraging young people to develop their own content in reaction to the museum, that there's a real direct link with new audiences there that the museum didn't have before. Because it's very hard for museums to market themselves to young audiences when there's no voice of young people themselves coming out of the museum. So by actually producing that content with the voice of young people and actually having a way of delivering that to people, there's a direct connection with a new market for them. I think the other thing they've got is a feeling of sort of freedom and flexibility in that they can actually create stuff when they want to create it. So it can react to a project or an exhibition that's, say, temporary, and do something around that and use it for more short-term marketing gains as well. For us, we have been doing work with engaging audiences for years, and we know that the only way to really successfully do that is to kind of bring that authentic voice into things. And this allows you to do it on a kind of any kind of budget, and I think that's quite an amazing thing for museums. Simple, flexible, and affordable.